Hello, everybody. My name is Ulfgarður, and welcome back to Yvardsaga. If you couldn't tell already, as mentioned in Discord, I am currently recovering from being sick, so my voice is a little shot. I apologize that we're just going to have to power through it. I will do my best with character voices to get them as correct as I can. But that's basically all that's left of me being sick is just letting my voice recover, and yeah, so that's cool. Um, I appreciate everybody being patient. Last week I was out of town during our normal Wednesday night or Thursday makeup night sessions. My one of my buddies, who is actually a player in Evard, just not for this campaign. He's doing things elsewhere in the world. Um, but he took me and one other guy on a trip to Gettysburg for Memorial Day because he's been there a few times, and that's just something he likes to do. He's a Civil War buff, and I had never really been to any sort of like major Civil War battle site, so that was really cool. The pictures are in the Discord server. Um, I can go into detail if anybody is interested about any of the pictures or like places I mentioned that we went, but I figured I'd spare the full nerding out since it's not everybody's interest. Um, but if nothing else, the landscapes turned out pretty cool in the pictures. It's a beautiful area, absolutely gorgeous. Wild to think what happened there in however many years ago it was to get to 1864. I'm not here to do math, which is funny because it's D&D. Um, but yeah, so unfortunately I got sick on the way back, but we're balling anyway. So um, recovery from not recovery. That is not even remotely the word. It's going to be an interesting session tonight, just because I got I got word things going on, so that's great as the storyteller for this session. Um, but as a follow up announcement, I guess to our last session, in case you missed it last time and didn't see the VOD on Twitch or on YouTube, um, the fun announcement from me and Pez is that Pez is in her third trimester of pregnancy. We waited a while to mention it, just to make sure everything was going good. Uh, but so that's our big news lately. Um, and we found out that we were pregnant shortly before this campaign started. So I appreciate everybody's patience on last minute. We're going to postpone tonight's session um, within an hour or 12 hours of the stream. A lot of that was either Pez needed some rest or I needed some rest from all the activity of getting ready to have your first child. It's a lot of work, turns out, especially if you're behind on a lot of projects like I am. So, yeah, that's our fun news. I see Carl has arrived. Good to see you, Carl. Welcome back, buddy. Um, but yeah, so that's all been going good, and trying to think what else. Yeah, I don't think too much. Otherwise, uh, this weekend I'm getting ready to go to a wedding. That is the first time I've seen the guys I was deployed to Afghanistan with on my second deployment. One of them's getting married, and it'll be the first time I've seen any of them in 13 years. I did the math. So that'll be a lot of fun. But that officially marks the end of our super busy May season. So hopefully I'll have more time to squeeze in doing a let's play of the mortuary assistant, because that won the vote you guys did a while back, and I just haven't had the time to really be able to sit down and do a let's play stream with you since I've been doing a bunch of projects and getting ready for a baby. But I'll have more time, at least for a bit. So sometime in June, I promise it will happen, barring some major life change. Um, but yeah, I'm excited for that. I've been looking forward to it. I hope y'all are too. Um, and I've been looking forward to doing Mortuary Assistant on stream for you guys pretty much since it came out. I have held off watching any Let's Plays of it. I know nothing about the content other than what's in the demo. and I have been avoiding it like the plague so that I can give you guys a fresh, real experience watching me get my pants scared off of me. Not that you can see my pants, but they'll probably get scared off of me. So I'm sparing you. Trust me. But all that said, let's go ahead and play some D&D. Yeah. Let's get everybody back on. Let me check my sound settings. Okay, so far you guys can hear me, I think, since Carl said woo. Okay, background music is on, and we'll unmute Discord. I think they're talking about fish.
Fish with the anime blush to see the black dragonfish with its anime blush.
Haha, I called it.
Yes.
We were still talking about fish, and I could not hear
Yes.
Pez.
Dude, I'm Googling crabs now, okay?
Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh
you might want
no.
to
You
touch
can say
base with
we've
the
gone off
doctor.
the deep end.
Ooh,
But
nice.
Yes.
Nice. Guess we'll just have to roll with the tide then.
Yeah. We got
Damn.
we got jokes for days.
Yeah. I got a yee. That's about all that joke deserved, I think.
you also got a look from me, but you didn't look over to see it.
Oh, sorry. I was making sure I had my screen all set up. Okay. Y'all ready to play some nerd game?
Nerd
Yeah,
game.
Nerd
like
games.
my brain's trying to recalibrate because it's still trying to do fish puns.
Ah, fair enough. Okay, so to recap, you guys made it to the surface, you went through customs, and you met your mysterious client, not necessarily your boss, because they weren't who hired you, but they were who you were supposed to retrieve your mysterious artifact for. And you met Nauri Mordelia, a drow male who was at first very uh, very non-amused about the fact that you guys came back empty-handed, but once you shared everything that you learned and the things you guys had seen and observed, he became a pretty affable guy. He seemed to enjoy the results you gave him, even though they didn't include what you were sent down there to retrieve. And you were paid pretty well. Didn't really seem like he needed a lot of haggling in order to pay you fair, especially since you didn't have the artifact. But he had also promised that if you guys want, and it sounded like you guys were interested to explore this path, that he would, before too long, have more jobs for you. And for Nemo and Cole, uh, he seemed to operate on the assumption that you guys were pretty much just willing to work for money. But he did also offer a Yejiye to help with information about the mind rot disease that affects Goliaths in the northern parts of the world, that she has expressed previously quite a bit of interest in trying to research and understand. Um, so he shared some of his own thoughts on that, that, so far as I know, may have been new to Ayegie, maybe not, but she wrote them in her book either way. And then he said goodbye pretty abruptly and just left. Like, they didn't go back to town. Him and his two-person entourage just, like, walked off into the wilderness. As Pez and Rad both noted, much like the scene in the Dungeons and Dragons movie when the paladin just leaves and walks over a giant rock because it's in his way. I appreciated that reference very much, and I love the story of that scene. Um, but you guys returned to the Blubbering Whale, which is the tavern in Darbiton, and you found Yvelda's here with her warg, and you sat down and started kind of catching up with her. Uh, I don't remember how it ended up, Nemo, if you did end up actually giving her money, but she seemed confused by the fact that you tried to pay her back for the money she gave you guys at the start of this as kind of the down payment for your expedition. Do you recall if she took the money from you or not?
No, it was just discussed that Nemo's weird for that.
Okay, fair enough. I did remember that. But then that's money you guys get to keep then. Um, but
Yeah, she just mentioned that she wanted to buy dinner for them with it, but I don't think she fully actually said that she was going to take it.
yeah, yeah, no. She would insist that it's your money to keep. Between the three of you, she was paid for her part in all of this, which was admittedly small in her mind. But she had wanted to hear about your adventures. Um, but as you sit down and get ready to start regaling her with the stories of the Everdark that you experienced, you noticed when you came in that she seems like she's feeling poorly. Um, at first, it just looked like she was maybe a little overheated in this room, but it's not very warm in here. But she looked like she was maybe starting to sweat. And as time goes on and as you get comfortable, you settle in and start telling your story, you realize she starts looking a little pale. So she's definitely still recovering from whatever it was she said kept her from joining you on your expedition. Uh, but she seems to be putting up with the discomfort decently enough and is genuinely attentive and interested and responsive to your retelling of events. I don't know if you guys would want to assume that that was summarized or if you would want to, in detail, actually RP retelling the story for her so that you can shape and craft what she learns versus what she doesn't, if there's anything you would want to withhold or frame in a certain way. Um, for these sorts of interactions with an NPC, I like giving you the option of either. So we can gloss over to the end, or Cole, if you want to try and impress her with your storytelling skills, all power to you. Good luck and Godspeed. She will order dinner and drinks for you guys at some point during the story. So uh, the dinner is nothing super fancy for what at least Cole and Nemo you would. I guess Yejiye, you have some pretty fun and interesting cultural traditions up your way that would be very interesting and exciting too. So like nothing, it's not going to win any awards, but it's the first hot food you guys have had in the better part of a week, so it'll be very good. Nemo, whenever your drink gets brought, whatever drink you order, you are also provided a cup of the stuff that the locals describe as stripping fat off of whale bones, the stuff you had to shoot in order to convince Ron to go down in the Everdark with you. You would be provided a cup of that also. And if you look over at Ron, he'll raise a glass to you from the bar.
I can never live that down.
That's awesome.
She's just gonna wave
Um,
at Ron. I'm assuming he's not doing it maliciously.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe like
Hopefully.
Yeah.
maybe 10% possibly, but mostly he finds it funny. It's written all over his face. He's in good spirits. He got booze again.
Yeah, yeah. He's in his happy
Quick
place.
technical. I can't see anything.
Me too.
Oh
I
no.
can.
Oh, okay, okay. I know what the problem is. It's because
You ain't got it.
I was messing with your tokens earlier and I forgot to do
You
the
touch up my
settings.
token?
I
You touch
apologize.
my token. I still need to send you my token stuff.
Oh, that's fine. I'm not concerned about it.
Now you get a gun to my head and are threatening my kneecaps.
As I do
Um,
off screen between sessions.
Yep.
Yeshige is going to whisper to Nemo that she does have prestidigitation if she wants to take that shot and not have it taste bad. She can't take away the burn, but she can at least change the taste of her liquid granite.
If you don't want
uh
to drink that, I would happily take it.
oh, you want it? Yvardsaga can have it then.
Um, and Ulf, as far as the storytelling,
Mm-hmm.
what I think the best or easiest way for me to try and summarize that would be Cole to do his best performance check
Okay.
to regale Yvelda with the summary of how things happened in the most captivating way. Especially especially if we are hitting highlights such as brute forcing open a magical door or stopping a charging worm and vaporizing its face inches from me, all that jazz.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Feel free to make that as a performance check then. Um, while you're rolling that, Evelda doesn't do what you would expect with Nemo's drink. Um,
Pours it on the wound.
Gives it to the warg.
uh,
He's a good boy.
actually, Rad, yeah, you're Cole. That was a persuasion.
Yes, it was. Oh, it's the same.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, that's fine. Um, but so the way both times you've seen Evelda now at this table, she's had sort of like a cape thing over her left side. When she stands up, it would cover like most of the way down to her knees, so you can't get a great look at her equipment on that side. So if she's going to draw a weapon or anything like that, that's fairly covered. Um, that's fairly standard. Like having an asymmetrical one-sided cape instead of just like a cloak is not common in this part of the world. But she's kind of her own version of a celebrity in the world, so she, you know, it's an idiosyncrasy of being famous, I guess. Um, but you've also not seen her left arm come out from underneath that cape. Like when you dealt with her before, it was always leaning on the table, right arm up only. And the same tonight, eating and drinking as she's listening, same thing. And Nemo, when you pass that cup across the table to her, she takes it and does put it underneath her cape and have some sort of interaction with like her shoulder area, and she winces pretty hard. But when she brings the cup back out and sets it on the table, it is empty.
oh,
Um, did, Anima will turn to Cole. Do you want to give her a healing potion?
either that or the thing you found that was the healing. Is that a healing salve?
Yeah, it'll cost you.
Are you two
Fine.
doing this in common?
No, in Infernal.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah.
Cole acquiesce. As long as you're not raking me over the coals. But I'm tisk.
Alright, I get to name my price later?
Dangerous.
I would assume a couple of gold pieces. Unless you're gonna request things like more sweets or bakery items.
No. I want
Menacing.
one favor. That you can't ask questions and you can't say no to.
Fine.
Okay.
This is a bad idea.
This will surely turn out fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, so, she'll try to like discreetly pass the salve to Cole,
Okay.
and I want it back.
Make a sleight of hand check since you mentioned you're doing it discreetly.
sleight of hand. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, wait. How'd I get-
Yes.
Oh,
Fair enough. Yeah, she does not notice.
one use. One favor.
I'm just writing that down.
Okay.
Good call.
In his inventory now.
Well, no,
It
I'm
actually
writing
weighs 20 pounds.
Well,
The
I'm
favor
writing
to
in my
Nemo.
in my notes. Cole owes Nemo 1 favor for healing salve.
It's okay. I'm sure Nemo would not let you forget.
Oh, I need to make sure that it's not. No, I said 2. Don't you remember 3 even?
Wishes.
I definitely heard Nemo say an unlimited amount of favors.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't speak Infernal, but I can only assume.
Yeah, I recognize that number.
Yeah.
Little do we know, Infernal, the number 1 and Infinite are very similar.
Um. So after that is in Cole's possession, and we've kind of wound up the tale. By and large, Cole will say to Yvelda, if you are still experiencing some troubled healing, we did come across a salve that should be able to help speed up the process. I'd be. I'm trying. Oh, damn.
Honored.
Oh, just wait. I'd be happy to help you with it, uh, so you could get more comfortable.
She looks at you and like raises an eyebrow. Make a persuasion check.
I really wish I had inspiration. Okay. Oh, dice, don't fail me now.
You've
Oh
cursed
no!
it.
No.
You've cursed it.
It hit
Hands
the 18
sweating.
and rolled.
Well, you had your one shot.
Yeah,
No,
one shot.
she looks at you and the one corner of her mouth perks up a little bit into a bit of a grin. Not really a grin, I guess more of a smirk. I appreciate the offer, but if it's all the same to you, I'll just apply it right here and now as you finish your stories.
Nemo's gonna kick his like, don't take that offer.
um, uh, Cole will nod and produce the salve. It shouldn't take much. Just make sure you get it everywhere that needs the healing on it.
Well, much of it has been healed to an extent. Just, you never know how something like this is going to develop over time until everything's completely said and done, so I will take whatever help I can get. Much appreciated. And she'll take the salve and gives it a sniff and sets it on the table. And but right as she's about to like scoop a couple fingers in to get one dose of the salve to apply to her wound, she says, I hope none of you mind that I will have to make this visible.
Oh, Cole can like put up a cloak or something to like give you some privacy.
Oh, I don't care. I just don't know your dispositions.
Oh, I've seen lots of gorings before.
We seen a lot down there, actually.
This might be different than what you have seen.
Oh my gosh, sorry, the cats.
Cole's gonna shrug. Oh, in my line of work, I think I've seen about everything. I got a strong stomach. Yeah, he'll smirk as he says that.
Very well.
Pictures.
And she... sorry, I'm gonna deal with the cat that's being a gremlin. Emma. Cool it, little one. I know it's a plastic bag, but it is not for your enjoyment.
She wants to
Then
play with
why
the
is it
baby
made of
toy that's
eats?
sitting out. She's also a baby, so she wants to play with the baby toy.
Also true.
Yeah, if you hear some weird noises in the background of my mic, it's because the baby toy does talk. And the cats may learn that.
They have accidentally discovered parts of it already. Okay, I have returned from gremlin cat diversion. So Ivelda ends up just like hooking the front of her cape cover with her thumb and throwing it back over her shoulder. And there's no arm on her left side. As far as any of you knew, she, by her reputation, there's no mention of her missing an appendage. But it's not that she has a wounded arm in a sling or anything like that. There is nothing past the shoulder.
No left arm, you say?
Yes.
Cole has just the thing for this.
What a coincidence.
Oh, fuck, you right.
The DM did not expect that. The DM forgot he gave
No.
you that.
No, I had never thought of that as a thing for this. This was like
And it has 6 fingers too!
oh my god, what did I do? I cannot stress this enough. That is entirely an accident. I accidentally had you find some ancient prosthetic that conveniently works for her.
Wait, was it
Oh,
only a hand though?
No, there was a glove.
Yes, there was a different thing that was like a glove or a hand.
yeah. The one with... I'm trying to look back and see what I wrote down. Prosthetic hand. So yeah, I don't know how... yeah, I guess that'd be your call, Ulf, of how far back it goes.
I believe. I assume you mean in like size of the prosthetic and like how it fits.
Correct.
Yes. When you attuned to it, one of the things you learned about it, if I recall correctly, I don't have my notes on it up in front of me, but I believe it can be adjusted to potentially fit up to an elbow. So it's not perfect. There's still a bit of a gap there, but it is still better. Like it's a start. Yeah, fuck. I had not thought of that at all. Take an inspiration for that. Not that, yeah, I know you haven't necessarily done anything with it or like given it to her, but like just for thinking that, because I obviously did not. But yeah, when she throws her cape over her shoulder and removes the cloth bandages covering where her arm was at one point, the bandages you notice aren't bloody, they're not dirty. They seem perfectly clean. And when she removes them, the wound that's left is largely healed already, except for it has weird, irregular protrusions around the joint where the skin is mostly healed up and is largely just a web of scarring. but these protrusions look like stone. Like they look like chunks of rock embedded into her skin all around this empty joint. But as she takes the salve and applies it to those areas, particularly around a lot of those stony protrusions, she does seem to relax a little bit and lets out a sigh of relief and finishes that up and covers it back and pulls her cape back over and slides the salve back to Cole and just says, "That was more immediately soothing than I had expected. Thank you."
I'm glad that helped. And Cole's gonna reach into his bag. I think I might be able to give you a hand with that as well.
Jesus Christ, inspiration revoked. Not actually, but for fuck's sake.
If he had
You
the
regret,
power, he would.
Yeah.
yeah, you regret declaring it. Um, and Cole will remove the prosthetic, and hold it over to her. This is a magical item we found. Once attuned, it could uh, function. You'll need a little bit more, but perhaps an artificer will be able to graft an extension for you. And he'll set it on the table in front of her.
Once Nemo realizes the pun, she does like a face palm.
At the mention of an artificer, ASGA perks up. We actually were told about an artificer while we were down in the caverns. I mean, considering they created. And she pauses for a long moment. 10th? Because she doesn't know what 10th is. Created a person? They seem like they have to know what they're doing a little bit.
And that is who you're going to see in Aerith, is it not?
Yes, we have quite a bit to give him.
Well,
You can come with us. And she like nudges Cole.
Man, Nemo out here being a true wing woman.
Is that another pun? Because
Yeah.
Nemo
Oh,
has wings.
fuck! Yes!
It should have been.
It was not intended, but fuck yes it is.
um,
I like to intend my puns. I'm not a coward.
I am uncertain of what to say. You would just give this up after everything you went through. What, name your price. This would save me a lot of time searching for something appropriate.
Mm. Oh shit! How? What? Oh.
Nemo's just like pray in her head. Don't be a creep. Don't be a creep. Don't be a creep. Especially dinner.
Oh, you see, what I could ask is for her hand, hold it up in marriage, but
Jesus
Ulf
Christ.
would shoot me.
I would. I know where you live.
And I know that's what I can't. He would hunt me down and take my kneecaps.
I would.
Oh, but I made the joke, so I'm happy.
Fair enough.
Oh, what would Cole think? Um, Cole will kind of sit back and think for a minute. Hmm. How about get to Arif, you can buy me dinner and tell me some stories of your escapades.
All right. Make another persuasion check, but make it with advantage.
Yes.
You can't double advantage with your
You cannot.
Okay. Seems like someone doesn't want me to succeed, but okay.
Whoa. I am unable to travel with you to Arif, but if you could take this with you, I have to go see somebody in Oppering, and I must leave in the morning. But I can meet you in Arif and make good on that. That would be
It's
a
a date then.
tremendous kindness that I do not often find in my line of work.
Yeah, so then Cole will say, it's a date then.
I suppose. I suppose it would be, wouldn't it? Well,
Cole will take the hand, put it back, and we'll get it ready for you.
Nemo's just beaming.
uh, outstanding. Well done.
I think I got 2 shots, and one of them did not blow.
Fair enough. Fair enough. One moment. I need to pull up my map and figure out how big of a delay that is for her. Uh, I should be able to be in Arif in 6 or 7 days. So I will keep an eye out for you. You can introduce me to this artificer and be thinking about where you would want to eat.
Sounds good.
Well, is there anything else you would need of me before I go take my rest for the night? Any other details or stories from your adventures you feel I should know? Otherwise, I'm going to need to lay down. That salve is surprisingly sleep-inducing. Those of you who had used it before, that had not been a side effect of you using it. Probably just more the,
relief from pain.
yeah, relief from pain and like untensing, I guess, and realizing that, oh shit, I'm tired.
Yeah.
As long as Yejier got to tell her, or someone got to tell her about the flail snail, and Yejier got to show off the chunks of flail snail that she got.
Oh yes, yeah. She would laugh and have commiserated about flail snails. She has encountered at least one by her sparse commentary about it. She
I
has
don't want
had.
to keep her. I want to know what happened to her arm. And how can I avoid meeting the same fate?
You do ask about her arm?
Yes.
Oh, well, there is a creature far to the east that I have never heard of it being anywhere in this part of the world. I've never heard of them being even on the far side of Barrett Hold, but farther than that, there's a creature that is, uh, it's not large, and I've heard it by a couple different names, but mostly over where I'm from, they call it a pteraptor, and it has a barbed tail with a toxin that will petrify flesh.
Oh,
and I took a couple. I've gone up against them a few times. They hunt in packs. They're small creatures. They would never take on a humanoid and a warg unless there were many, which there were. But I've gone up against them before, and I think having had their toxin in my system earlier in life made this a little more complicated. But previous injuries from them did not cause any adverse effect other than some stiffness, your standard concerns of infection and what have you. But this time I took several barbs to my arm, and everything but my middle three fingers from the shoulder down was stone by the time I got away. And I went to Neris and consulted the Academy and their arcane healers, and the best they could do was remove it and help it speed up the healing process. I do not have the funds to pay them to grow it back, and I'm not sure I would want to. Injuries are a risk in my line of work. I have avoided taking more drastic recovery measures because I wear my injuries as a badge. They're a sign of everything I've overcome in my career and in my life. So, well, I suppose I figured
Bull
I was.
crosses his legs as he's at the table. Oh, jeez.
I was resigned to see this through, but it seems I have had a stroke of unusually good luck, and I intend to see that through as well.
well, thank you for telling me the story.
I think you've warranted it. And seeing as I've already agreed to tell one of you stories, I suppose the other two are entitled to something.
Cole's not special.
But as long as you are no further east than Misty Vale, you should be at no risk from these creatures unless someone has them captive, in which case, don't approach them. That tail does not mind the gap in a cage.
Mm,
That was my first encounter. But
uh-oh.
with that, I think I will take my leave for the night. But you three, enjoy your celebrations. You've certainly earned them. In order to keep to my promised time frame, I will need to leave early. So I will probably not be here when your hangovers wear off.
Did we ask her about working with
Nauri?
Nauri? Like, if she's worked with Nauri before, or what sort of person they are?
Um,
I don't believe
we
you
just have to
asked.
be, yeah, have to be careful about that because now Reed said he didn't share his name with many people.
Well, we don't have to say Nauri's name. We can just say
He-
the buyer.
but his parting remark was also to give Yvelda his regards.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
So I think
we can share that.
it'd be worth seeing her reactions about. I mean, obviously she was working with him, but like,
Yeah, what?
you don't have to like the people you work with.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you want to start that discussion? What question do you want to
I guess
ask?
starting by, I mean, I'd hopefully do this before she's right up about to get
That yeah,
up from the
that's
table.
fine. Yeah, at some point before she leaves.
Um, but starting with, oh, by the way, our buyer, he wanted to give his regards to you, and kind of like look for reaction.
Oh, That's very kind of him. Nauri and I have always gotten along well.
You work with him a lot?
Not directly, but we've interacted on things like this, where he is in search of either information or something he would like retrieved, and I get it and bring it to him.
Is it usually something so obscure and mysterious isn't the right word, but mysterious is the only word my brain has?
Maybe not quite as obscure as this, but generally things that are harder to find. Things that come with an element of assumed danger. I would not run and fetch bolts of canvas from across the world for him. But something a little more interesting I find worth the trouble, if I have the time to do it.
So he's just like a curio collector?
In a way, so far as I know. I tend not to ask why he wants the things he wants. He's had me retrieve a couple of lesser artifacts. I believe he might have some sort of a private collection, or he might represent someone who does. I've never been able to figure that out. Sometimes he's even asked me to help acquire rare magical components, presumably for enchanting or casting, the sorts of things that you're able to use more than once, but not necessarily anything that I do not understand the arcane. That is not my field of expertise. I can do some spells, but I am no wizard or lifetime dedicant of the weave. But by my understanding, nothing frighteningly powerful in its potential. I try to do my homework if someone's asking for something like that, to make sure I'm not taking something catastrophic to somebody who would use it as such. But usually he just wants the things that are hard to find.
Yeah. Would we have told her about Shoko? Like, how much detail did we give her talking to Cole and Nemo?
Um, I think we would have shared um, our encounter with them, and we could share.
Mostly, I guess I don't know what you guys are thinking, so I'm just gonna spit it out.
Oh, okay,
Does he
that's fair.
often end up wanting items that was it the library? Is that
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
that the library is after also?
Well, I don't know. I can't say much about the library or their motivations, but I have gotten the impression that he has been under the impression they might be some kind of a competitor. But I never got the feeling that it was something he was concerned about or saw as a serious problem. Perhaps after this he may reconsider, or maybe I just read it wrong.
Gives nods. That's mostly what she wanted to ask. Get a vague vibe.
So it sounds like he is worth working again. He didn't comment that he'd be intrigued to have us involved again.
He is not one to have a lot of repeat contractors. I think just because his standards are high and he usually takes an issue. But from my experience, he is a man who understands when something unforeseeable changes results and is able to not hold that against someone. He's not the sort of person who, if some act of the gods intervenes and it's beyond your power to stop it, he's not the kind of person, to my knowledge, who would say, "You failed, you're fired." He is the kind of person to see that happening multiple times as a sign of incompetence, and then he'll he'll take action. But he just has very high standards. And the chance to work with him again is something very few people get. So I am pleased that he gave you the opportunity for more work. I think there's
You
a
don't get
lot
any
that could be
extra.
done.
You don't get any extra finder's fee for finding such good employees. Isn't the right word.
Contractors.
Contractors.
Sorry, I had to clear my throat. You don't get any extra what?
Finder's fee for finding such good contractors.
You have to make it through 3. And then I get paid for finding someone worth keeping around.
Cole has even more incentive to
Yep.
stick around and work.
Well,
One thing I do know is I don't know the nature of hardly any of them, but I have heard through the professional grapevine that out east, past Neris, wherever he comes from, he is a somewhat decently connected person. He knows a lot of people. I think his dealing in acquisitions for whatever his or his employer's collections are, I think he's made a lot of contacts in a lot of places. So that could very well be something to take advantage of, depending on what he has you doing.
And you step away for a second. Sorry.
Yeah.
Liege, immediately distracted by her thoughts. Do as you will. She will eventually want to go talk to the goblins. That could be what she's doing now.
Yoshie goes, "Oh, I finished a thought on an egg design."
Goodbye. And Yoshi has left the chat. Well, yeah, unless she leaves or Cole gives Nemo a signal to like get the hell out of there.
No, I think we're good at this point.
But yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you for this amazing opportunity.
I just found the people who found you. You're the ones who made the most of it. The credit should be yours. But I would be lying if I said I was not looking forward to see what we can do together in the future.
Cole's gonna raise a drink. Cheers to that.
And with
Yeah.
that, Yvelda will raise whatever's left in her cup and throw it back, slap it down empty, and walk down across the bar to go upstairs to her room. And her warg will follow. I can only control one token at once. Pupper be shuffling sideways because I'm too lazy to rotate. There we go. They
He
have
does
gone.
tricks.
He can strafe.
Dinner and a
Well.
show.
Yeah. And then there were 2.
Yep. After she's gone, Cole will pass the salve back to Nemo and say in Infernal, "I appreciate your help."
Who better to help you get some tail than someone with the tail? She like waves hers.
Oh my gosh. hilarious.
Well played. Well put.
Cole's gonna laugh. I suppose that's one way to put it.
Yeah.
He'll bring up his cupped cheers with Nemo.
She'll raise her cup of water. But yeah, so the money.
Are you splitting that into items?
I'm not too comfortable splitting the items out in the bar, which is why
Okay.
I originally asked when we were still in the cave.
That's valid. We can address that in one of the rooms when all are present.
So that's 300 gold. I believe we can split it 4 ways. We owe Ron 87 gold. I was gonna give him the 75 gold from here, the bag, and give him Bernard.
Cole's gonna tilt his head a little bit. The dog?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
What's your logic there?
It's worth money. It could cover up the rest of the gold that we're not giving him. And also it's a good parting gift. My opinion. It could help him with his excursions should he decide to stay here and continue being a guide.
Cole will nod. Okay.
Also, I think it's worth a lot. So, I think it also covers the bonus.
His payment was 20 gold. If we're giving him 87, that's more than a bonus already.
It was 12 a night.
Was it?
Yeah.
Shit, I misremembered.
Cool.
It's okay, Nemo. He wasn't hired to keep track of the ledgers.
Yeah, remember originally he was charging 15. And because I threw up in front of him, he brought it down to 12.
I actually don't remember that because that's a page of my notes that's missing.
Womp womp.
It was very, very impressionable on me.
Yeah.
I can still taste it.
Going on.
Okay, so 75 for you, right? If I'm doing my math right, 30 is divisible by. I can't math. No. It's 75, yeah. So 75 for you, 75 for Yoshi, 75 for me, 75 for. Hello?
That sounds right
Oh,
to me.
yeah, I just did the math.
Yep.
300 is divisible by 4.
Yeah.
Alright, she will split the gold. And then, I don't know, do you want to give him Bernard? Do you want to have that conversation?
Let's circle up with our final companion before divvying up any of the magical items.
Oh, you don't want to give up Bernard?
I'm always hesitant to. I'm just gonna think how to phrase this. Pass up a tool for the tool belt.
Well, you would need to be attuned to it, and you can only use it once a week.
With the jobs we get, sometimes that's all you need.
Well,
It's
what's your
situational.
suggestion to give him?
Some of these items that he can sell, like the gems, um, remaining coins.
But I wanted the gems.
Then we can discuss those. Discuss that later.
I know jewelers who I can sell those to. I can get really good money for those.
So do we? We can always just give him more gold. But we'll see what AGA thinks of the situation.
What situation?
We're
Someone wants to.
discussing.
Someone wants to give up our saint.
Bernard?
Yeah, Bernard.
Oh, cripes.
Oh, it's nice knowing you kneecaps.
No, that's not a kneecap qualifying pun. That's just a finger.
Hmm.
Oh, thank goodness.
So yeah,
I
so
see how it could be useful, but I don't think we need it.
right, that's what I was saying. Because you can only use it once a week. You need to be attuned to it. And then it has other requirements or conditions. And it might be more helpful for him.
Him being Ron? Question mark.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. No. Sorry. Since I didn't get back till just now.
Yeah. Nemo hands over 75 gold to Yoshie.
Hell yeah. Nom 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 nom.
So yeah. So Ron is owed 87 gold. I'm suggesting giving him this 75 and then Bernard. Easily
I
covers
feel like
the.
that's. I feel like that'd
What?
be a fair trade.
Yeah, right?
Cole's deep in thought for a second.
Cole's a hoarder.
Yes.
Cole gave a hand to his celebrity crush.
Yeah.
Will not give this dog to the man who saved our lives several times.
Yeah. Also, it's not sentient. I checked.
Correct. That's why it's so useful.
Yeah, but it's also it doesn't have a. It's not very tanky.
A distraction at best.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But then if we use it as a distraction, I don't think it comes back to the owner. So, like, say we use it as a distraction and we run, we lose it anyway. If I'm remembering correctly.
So for figurines of wondrous power, when you activate it, the figurine becomes the thing that it transforms into. So as long, yeah, if you send it away as a distraction and just like leave it, somewhere once the timer on its transformed state runs out, it will just swoop back into being that figurine out in the world. But like if that form is like defeated in combat or takes damage enough to quote unquote kill it, if I recall correctly, it essentially just dismisses it and you have to wait the recharge time before you can use it again.
Yeah.
So essentially it's unkillable, but yeah, as a distraction you lose it. Or at least make note of where it went.
So we all have 87 and 75. Carry the 2. Cole count out 12 pieces from his 75 and push him over. I'd prefer to keep the dog. Does that work?
The SGA is just gonna shrug because she doesn't really care.
What if it could save his life?
He's been pretty fine without it. Once again, it's not very tanky. How the turntables, Nemo.
Can't believe you're choosing not to be a cheap ass. She takes the 12 gold. Gives your damn crush a fucking prosthetic arm that costs a fortune. But no, we can't give him a dog.
It's not about cost, it's about usefulness.
The urge to chop off Cole's hand is ever stronger.
Just to prove a point.
Bonus? You can probably give up something else as a bonus to him, for him.
I mean, I have some gloves that I'm probably not going to use even if they fit me. Because if I remember right, my gloves just protect from acid damage.
Let me double check.
It was acid or poison, and I'm thinking acid.
It was one of those things.
It only protects the hands.
Resistance to acid and cannot be damaged or destroyed by acid or by any acid or any other disintegrating effect.
Get hit with a disintegrate ray, nothing but your hands left.
Kinda, yeah. Pretty much. That is exactly what would happen.
Oh, Ayesha is willing to offer those up. Because they do require attunement, and she... Like, yeah, they could come in handy, but it's very niche.
How about that, Cole? Will you give those up?
Cool, nod.
Alrighty. Let's go thank Ron then.
Yeah, okay. No, we're good.
Okay. Boop, boop, boop.
Yeah, let's head on over.
Ron's just
Ron,
down
we
at the
come to bother
bar.
you.
Oh, I'm surprised you're still standing.
Oh, I didn't drink
Oh,
it.
he seems genuinely somewhat disappointed.
I gave it to you though. I should have better use for it.
Oh, but fair enough.
Yeah. So here's your
Cole
money
managed.
that we owe.
Cole managed to land a night with his lady friend.
Not a night, but a date. So there's potential for that
Wait, no
later
shit.
down the road.
He
Yeah.
actually got a date with her.
Yeah.
He like peers past her shoulder over at Cole.
Hey,
I didn't
Cole's
think he had it in
nods
him.
and Cole nods and smirks.
Well, hot damn. All right, Damu. And he slaps a handful of silver coins on the bar and slides them to the turtle. I guess he thought he could do it. I didn't think he would. Fair enough. Damu just slides the coins into his hand and deposits them underneath the bar. They apparently had a
Nice.
bet on how good Cole's interactions with Yvelda were going to be.
Oh, he had help. But you know.
All's fair in love and war.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Well, I reckon our contract's fulfilled then.
Mm-hmm. So 87 gold for you. And she's gonna hand that over to him.
Okay.
That's what we owe you for the time down there. And we discussed and we're wondering, would you like to take these gloves as a bonus?
These
And she tells him what
gloves.
they do. Yes.
Oh, that might actually come in kind of handy down there. You know what? Yeah, thank you. Well, I wasn't expecting to get anything but coins, so that's very much appreciated. I'll keep you at the 12-piece nightly rate next time you need me to go down with you.
Thank you. I won't have
Just
to
just remind me I
drink.
said that. I probably won't recall.
We can write it down if you want.
No, that's too much work. You remind me and I'll remember.
Cole reach in his gold pouch and toss an extra 6 at Ron.
What, just for
Few extra
shits?
for your trouble.
Okay.
Few extra for your trouble.
Well, shit. You're starting to make me feel like you're going to ask me for something now.
How healthy are your kidneys?
Too healthy, if you ask me. Damu, hit me up. Damu just sets a bottle. There's no label. There's no marking. It's just a glass bottle that has a wax seal around the top. And Ron pulls out a camp knife and starts like slicing through the wax seal at the top. Pulls the cork out by hacking it up with a knife. He's definitely not on his first couple drinks. You guys have been in here for a fair little bit. Ron's made the most of it. Well, it was a pleasure doing business with you. You ever come back through town, feel free to say hi, unless I'm down there, in which case, come get me. I'm probably fucked.
Well, maybe hopefully you'll be with a group more competent or stronger than us.
Eh, you guys are, I think, not giving yourselves enough credit. Once you got through the initial bumps of a new team, you had a bit of a rhythm. Kinda. I've definitely gone down with worse. Not all the rhythms a team finds are good. I can't say yours ended up all that bad. But
All things considered, I agree.
yeah, no, you were definitely one of the more entertaining groups I've taken down there. So, yeah, thanks. You want?
Entertaining in a good way.
Oh, yeah, mostly.
Okay.
Mostly.
Except for Simba.
No, we don't talk about Simba.
No, that's Bruno.
Plus, I've learned a few things about alchemy. And I will not put anything red like the marks on my skin onto my skin ever again. So, now we know.
Yeah.
Damu
I'm
just gives
sorry.
him a look like, what the fuck did you do? And Ron shoots
I
him.
said I was sorry.
No. He looks at Ron, and Ron returns fire with a glare that's just, don't ask.
Don't you think about it?
You get the impression that Damu and Ron have probably known each other for a very long time.
We'd love to see it.
Well, hey Damu, you wanna give them the early bird special for me in the morning when they come down?
Ooh,
Yeah, sure. You sure you want to pay for it? Oh, I will happily pay for it. Well,
wait, what's the
okay.
early bird special?
Well, you got to get up early and find out. That's the whole point. Otherwise, it ain't special. Okay,
Guys, you can't
Ron.
talk.
But I think I'm going to take this bottle and go home.
Yeah.
So, well, this bottle and these gloves and these coins. Where did I put these coins? Right, they're already on my person. This is fine. Okay. Well, y'all have a good night, and maybe I'll see you in the morning. Maybe I'll still be unconscious for a week.
It was nice working with you.
Adios. Likewise.
Hopefully we see you. I have a few more things to talk about when you're less in when you're not enjoying yourselves near as much.
Oh, well, that's ominous.
That's
My,
why he gave you the 6 gold.
oh. Uh, I'll be in here for lunch tomorrow. You catch me then if you want.
Sounds good. It's
Okay.
involving future work opportunities.
Okay. I got 2 ears that both work. One of them I'll lend for a bit. Free of charge, even. He like bumps his elbow into Nemo's side as a joke. All right. Good night, fuckers.
She waits. Mind the kidneys.
Never do.
Damn.
It's the liver that's affected by alcohol, but okay.
Kidneys are a part of it too.
Well, that's just getting rid of the fluid. They
That's
filter the blood. The liver is what metabolizes the alcohol.
X. This is medieval health understanding. Ron is not a physician. You mention any body part in relation to alcohol, he'll probably be like, "Yeah, that sounds right."
Yep. Take it easy on the ticker. Always two.
But yeah, anything left for you guys that you want to resolve now that your NPCs have all gone to bed? It is fairly late in the evening at this point. Like, I mean, you guys came up and it was already dark outside.
Yeah. When did they
And
become nocturnal?
I imagine it's probably like 2 or 3 a.m. Your storytelling and eating with Yvelda was probably almost 2 hours long to get through all of it and your discussions and questioning. So it's pretty late. You guys would definitely be feeling at least somewhat sleepy by now.
Say we reconvene in the morning.
Yeah.
Why not?
Okay.
Blue's coated, we can do.
As you start making your way over, Damu looks at the three of you. Are you leaving Or are you sleeping here?
Sleeping here, hopefully. Are there rooms?
Yeah, there's rooms. We've got rooms. Don't mind what Ron said about that early bird special. It doesn't have to be early whenever you get down here.
Oh, okay. Well, that's great.
I'm trying to remember what the room fee was here. I don't have it as convenient in my notes as I thought. I want to say it was like 7 silver a night or something like that. It's
It's back in episode 1.
yeah. It actually I might know where to go to get it. It would
7
be
silver sounds right.
in your solo text RP at the very beginning, I think.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Bum.
We'll have to look because I thought I paid for the whole time I'd be here.
Bum. Oh,
Including the
two
days
gold.
you were in the cave?
2 gold per night, which includes basic meals. Made to order meals is between you and the kitchen. Were Damu's
oh.
words. So 2 gold per night.
Gotcha.
So expensive.
I mean,
They
Darbiton
nice
for
rooms.
yeah. I mean, they are pretty decent rooms for being a town still actively like under construction. They're definitely like trying to set the standard early that this is a town intended to cater to wealthier clientele. Which, like, in a major city, 2 gold for the quality of rooms you get here isn't outrageous. It's like a little steep, maybe, but it's also literally the only inn in town.
That's how they get you.
Well, I mean,
What
and they
about
have to
bats?
deliver any of their supplies on a really shitty road. That's probably more expensive.
Mm.
But yeah, 2 gold a night. They have rooms if you guys would want to all 3 get separate rooms. If you would want to share, uh, the options are there. They do have a common sleeping room. Well, actually, no, they don't here. They do not have a common sleeping room here like a lot of inns do. These are all private rooms.
Ooh. Nemo's buying her own room.
Fair enough.
ASGA was also going to buy her own room.
Big
Guess what
spenders.
Cole gets to do?
Sleep outside.
No, he's sleeping in a bed. He's missed a bed.
Okay. In that case, you guys will each be given your room keys. You can go upstairs and go to your respective space and hunker in for some sleep. Any concerns, questions before you take your long rest and we take a short wellness break?
A bath. Nemo wants a bath. Would that be extra? Do they do that here?
Um, I don't know if they do. I don't think I determined if that's a service offered here, so fuck it. Let's roll with it. Pick a number between 1 and 6.
4.
Yep. Yep. Bath would be um it's probably not what it'll cost eventually, but I'm not going to take the time to look it up right now. To what it
Mm.
should cost. You've been good customers. Ron seems to like you. Damu seems to like you. 5 silver and you can get a bath. It'll
Mm.
be drawn up. They've got a spot. Um, it's technically not attached to the building, but like out back, there's a small bathhouse. Calling it a bathhouse is generous, but it is its own little building that has like some screen dividers and 3 separate bathtubs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, whether
You're
you want
welcome.
that in the morning or before you go to bed, either one. You can take your pick.
Before bed.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And
Okay.
then long rest.
Yes, and then long rest. So, your long rest would conclude. Long rest is 6 hours of sleep and 2 hours of essentially downtime or stuff like attuning or certain class specific actions you can take as part of a long rest. Um, which those sorts of things, if you guys are just going to be coming down here and hanging out in the morning, those can factor into that unless you start a bar brawl. Then you would not get your long rest fully completed. Um, but if it was 2 a.m., like I said, about 2 a.m., so we will reconvene after you've gotten your 6 hours of sleep, somewhere between 8 and 10, and we'll go from there.
Woo!
Wahoo! But,
Potty break.
yeah, go ahead, take 3 to 5 minutes, do a wellness break, do what you got to do, and we'll be back to start the next day.
Yeah.
All right, chat. You heard it. It is time, and I am very excited. Oh, Pez redeemed a hydrate. I have been hydrating as we go. I hope it hasn't come through on the microphone, but maybe you heard it. But we have a shiny new thing to show you for our wellness break tonight. Uh, Rad has continued to kick butt on drawing scenes and composing stuff, coming up with ideas to help make this whole production value better. And so we have a new wellness break screen for you guys, and I'm excited to show it off. Now remember, this is a wellness break for a reason, so go do something kind to yourselves, or for yourselves. I guess to yourself works also. Um, but yeah, here we go. Courtesy of Rad, we have a brand new wellness break screen, and I love it. Um, I am a fan. So go do what you got to do. Those ideas that we had before are still on the screen for you if you need ideas of how to be kind to yourself. We will go ahead and run 3 minutes of ads and be back as soon as or shortly after those wrap up. So we'll see you then. Do that. Discord audio should be good. I think we should be able to hear everybody. I believe we're back. It is the next morning. Welcome back, everyone. Do you pick your same table? Do you care where you go? We'll assume same table, because that's
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah, it's like a
Um,
sitcom. This is our table.
We only have one set.
yeah. Um, the early bird special, as you guys arrive down to your table, is brought out with whoever shows up last. And Damu brings over 3 plates that have like wooden cloches, like over top. Um, does everybody ever, does the word cloche, folks know what a
Yes.
cloche is? Because I forget half the
Yep.
time. Okay.
I don't know what that is.
When you have like a fancy dinner plate put in front of you and it has that big metal bowl on top that
Oh,
they pull off for the reveal.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a cloche.
Okay.
But these ones are wooden and they're not that fancy. But like the attempt is there. And Damu has all 3 plates and he slides them before you and he says, just remember, this was Ron. He pays me to do this. And he removes the cloches on your plates, and each of your plates is full of about 2 large handfuls of horse manure.
I'm going to beat his ass.
Is Ron staying here?
No, he has a half-built house.
You know, he's probably asleep right now. Where does Ron live?
Yeah.
I'm not sure I should tell you.
Are these places to go?
I'd like my order to go, please.
I could find you a burlap sack, I guess. Oh. Ah. Yeah, let me find you a bag. I'm real interested to see what you do with this. Just come back and tell me how it goes.
uh,
And he scoots off into the kitchen and comes back out a little bit later with a burlap bag. There you go. I'm not touching it though.
damn it.
You're not. Did you make someone else do this?
Ron does it.
Wait, Ron plated them?
Yeah, he goes and scoops it out after he leaves for the night for anybody he ordered it for. So these
That's
have been
dedication to the
these have
bit.
been sitting out the kitchen's back door all night. But I'm not touching it because I have to serve food and drinks to people, and I don't want that shit on my hands.
Just rinse them in some liquid granite. It'll be fine.
Liquid granite?
Oh, sorry, that's not what it's called here. I guess you would know what liquid granite is,
Yes,
though,
she
huh?
would. Absolutely, yes, she would. I would say
One
take an
here
inspiration
called-
for that deep lore pull from your previous campaign experience.
Totally on purpose, loreful. What's it called here? The whale stripper?
The whale stripper, yeah. The borderline turpentine.
That has a better ring to it. The whale stripper sounds like a
People
Se-
are ordering sex on the beach. You can order whale stripper.
yeah, but it has definitely some evocative imaging.
It very well may be like a blue collar wharf adult club down in Garrett.
Who's to say? We're borderline turpentine. That's a good old family friendly, alcoholic beverage.
Sure.
All right.
I mean, it's just tilting a plate into a burlap sack. I guess you can do that.
Okay.
You sure
Right.
you don't want to tell us where Ron lives? Otherwise, I just have a sack of shit right now.
He's the westmost building that's not fully up yet.
He'll
Yes,
be
yay.
here at noon.
Yeah, Jay's gonna just nod at him though and start heading for the door with a burlap sack full of poop.
Alright. So, my idea is we put it out in front of his door. We set it on fire. He comes out.
Oh.
You're thinking it would wake him up though. I'm not sure it would, and we just burned down his not yet finished house.
Oh, right. Okay, so we put it down, set it on fire, knock on the door. Hopefully he's cohesive enough to wake up. Or we break into his home and throw it on him.
I'm contemplating. I'm attempting to think. Either way though, Yeshier is gonna start carrying this sack of poop to Ron's house.
I love that they're bonding over this.
Could always just you could always just dump it right on his doorstep.
But I want him to step on it.
Yeah,
Is Cole
just-
following them?
I don't have a map made
Yeah.
for this, so this will all have to be just theater of the mind.
You
yeah.
don't have a map for Ron's unfinished house? What if we came over for tea?
There's a reason he didn't invite you over.
Like he can hide from us.
I mean, he is a ranger. Hiding is like intrinsic to his profession.
He
It's
also
like
has a very unique magic item on him, and it just takes one spell to hunt that down.
That's true.
True.
Very true. As long as he's within, what, a mile?
I don't remember what
1,000
that one is.
meters. I think it was a kilometer.
Something like that, yeah.
A mile in diameter,
Oh, okay.
I think.
He said it was
It's
such
my
con
spell, I
proof,
should-
so we were just going to accept it.
Okay, but yeah, I assume the three of you are going together. Cole, you're not going to stick behind?
Yeah, might as well.
Okay.
1,000 feet for me.
Okay, 1,000 feet.
Gotcha.
As you're walking by and exiting the building, Damu calls out, "When you come back, I'll have breakfast hot and ready on the house. Just tell me how it goes. Never mind that breakfast is absolutely included in your room fee."
Yeah. He could have just given us breakfast, but no.
Ron paid him extra to do this.
I think Damu likes the drama too.
Yeah. I mean, he's an innkeeper. Innkeepers always enjoy having a good story to tell or listen to. But stepping. Oh wait, I have something for this. Hold on. It's not Ron's house. Don't get too excited.
The town map.
I do not, unfortunately, have a town map. Haha, but
Fiero. Sorry.
we have our. I don't have a map for this screen, which once it loads in, because it's an enormous image, is just a map of the world. But so as you guys are trucking along across town, you get to see Darbiton in the the morning light for the first time in almost a week, and not much has changed. A couple of buildings under assorted levels of construction look like they've had some progress made. Most of the folks around here doing the building are pretty dedicated. So 5 or 6 days being absent, uh, it shows. Like the town's coming along pretty good. Ron's house, however, doesn't look any different. Not that you knew it was his house to start with, but it is kind of out on its own. Just, another 300 meters past the last building on the west side of town. And there's no smoke coming out of the half-assembled fireplace and chimney. Most of the first floor is enclosed. Like a quarter of the roof has shingles on it, but the rest of the roof is all just like rafters and framework with canvas to keep the rain out. But there is a door. There's a hole cut for a window, but there's not a window in it. It just has shutters closed over it. But it'll be a nice little bachelor pad once it's finished, probably. I mean, you can't see the inside of it very well, but it's probably fine. It's just a little one-story, essentially a slightly larger than average cabin.
When we were traveling with Ron, does he snore? I mean, he also drank a ton, so I'm going to assume he's far more likely to snore right now.
He does snore, yeah. Not like a ton, but it's not like constant either. But if he's laying in certain positions, yeah, he'll snore a bit.
Because I'm going to try to locate which room he's in, if he's in the room with the shutters.
Make a perception check or an investigation, either one. I could see either being relevant.
Because I'm looking specifically at the shutter ones, I'm thinking investigation.
Okay.
That makes sense.
It does.
Bonk. Ugh. Could have been better. I'm just average.
You're just waking up.
I feel it in my bones.
I walked right into that. The shuttered window space seems like you don't get any significant reading on it either way. With your passive perception, you wouldn't hear him snoring through it. But maybe the section of the house that has the roof would be the section he's sleeping in?
It'd make enough sense.
Question mark?
Gonna see if the shutter's open anyway. See if this man locks his shutters before trying the door.
The shutters do open. There's no window. You can see inside there's a living space. The section underneath the finished roof is its own enclosed room. That is probably where he's sleeping because you don't see anything that looks like any of the furniture or arrangements that a person would put in their sleeping space. You don't see a bed, any sort of like clothing storage, armoire, dresser, none of that from what you can see through here. But the rest of the cabin is essentially just a studio. It's open except for that one little enclosed private space, his small private room.
His den.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So presumably that's where he is. It does have a door on it and the door is closed. It's a pretty Spartan setup in here. There's not a lot in the main rest of the house, which makes sense. It's not fully secure from the weather. It's a
So
pretty
Cole's
wide
gonna
open
point
space.
Cole will point to the bedroom door, right in front of that, just on the ground.
You know, I have the spell Grease. If we can get him to come out of the room fast enough, I bet we could get him to just fall directly onto the bag.
Nemo nods.
I am not quiet. I'm not going to be the one sneaking into this house.
Oh.
Wait, doesn't Cole have Mage Hand?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you like to know?
I saw you use it, Weather Boy.
You did. It's invisible. You just saw a box float.
Well, then you have telekinesis, even weirder.
But yeah, what's its weight limit? 10 pounds.
Something like that.
I really
Yeah,
hope he
10
didn't
pounds.
shovel 10 pounds of poop onto those plates.
Horse manure's heavy.
3 pounds of horse manure per plate, though?
All right, yeah, that's fair. And I don't, hell, even if it's more, I'll make an exception just because I don't care enough
We'll
about
empty
it.
out enough until the Mage Hand can carry it.
Yeah, there we go.
Exactly.
There we go.
Just right in front of the door.
Okay, so Cole, do you consent to this?
I do.
Okay.
Maybe just like 5 or 10 feet away from the door so there's a spot to cast the grease.
Yep.
I want to say grease
I
is a
am
10-foot puddle.
Great question. It's right here. Yeah, it's a 10-foot square.
Okay.
And then I guess one of us should bang on his door really loud. Do you think that'd get him up in a hurry?
Oh yeah.
Can you make Shan do that?
We all have our positions. We're ready to play.
Okay. I think Mage Hand could constitute knocking. If nothing else, one of you has Presto, so you could mimic a loud knock.
I was thinking just knocking on his front door.
Oh.
We have hands.
Either that or if I really want to burn spells, I cast the alarm spell and then break it and wake him up that way.
No, that'd be perfect because he'd be confused. Come out running.
So how many spell slots do I want to waste right now?
Yes.
It is in the name of fucking with an NPC, which is always
That's
a fan
true.
favorite.
Okay. Let me double read alarm really quick.
Yeah, because I do believe with alarm you can designate who is affected by it within range. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, you can absolutely do that. Set your alarm to include Ron, and then exclude one of your friends so that when they break it, it triggers for him. Set your grease spell. Set your bag of poop on his
Ulf,
living room floor.
Ulf, you used one of those terms pretty cavalierly. If you include your friend and then Cole, would be more appropriate.
Fair point. Touche. Thank you for the correction. I do strive for accurate portrayals of relationships and dynamics. So
Even Cole is using the free action to bully Cole.
he is entitled
No,
to
that was Possum's free action.
it.
Because I don't feel like spending forever to cast this ritually, I'm just hoping we won't, get into any trouble in the rest of this day.
Fair enough.
And
Yeah,
I will
we'll be fine.
absolutely burn 2 spells on this because I think it's funny.
Okay. All right.
Yep, so casting the alarm first. She'll confer with the group whether it should be a mental ping that's guaranteed to wake him up or the far more alarming handbell that's audible everywhere, but isn't necessarily like 100% guaranteed to wake him up. I would assume it'll wake him up, but it doesn't say in the spell that it will wake him up.
No, give him instant anxiety.
Is that the ping or is that the handbell?
The ping.
Okay, we'll do an alarm ping, and I'm ready to cast the grease as soon as whoever breaks the alarm barrier.
Okay.
Nemo's excited.
This is the most we've ever cooperated on a single cast.
Hey, team building is team building, no matter whose expense it's at.
I'm just hoping he'll be discombobulated enough to not be very dexful.
Fair. Okay. Yeah. I mean it.
Wait, can Nemo? Can we see into the room?
No.
Yeah. With the shutters open, you could all probably get a peek.
But we
Okay.
can't see
at
Ron.
the studio, but not the
at
bedroom.
the rest of the house, but not Ron's
But
room.
if you have something you want to do to him, you could just prepare an action for as soon as you
Yes.
see him.
Yes.
What you
I
got?
would like to prepare. I would like to prepare a spell. For when he needs to roll his dex.
As
Silvery.
soon as he steps on the grease.
Yes.
Okay.
Silvery barbs.
Oh. Okay.
Rude.
Yeah. So like, if he succeeds, no, he doesn't. Hopefully.
Okay, let's see. Distract the triggering creature and turns its. Okay, Triggering creature must re-roll the d20 and use the lower roll. You can then choose a different creature you can see within range. You can choose yourself. The chosen creature has advantage on the next attack roll, ability check, or saving throw it makes within 1 minute. Okay, who are you targeting? It's part of the spell.
It's a reaction, though. It's a reaction to when you see a creature succeed a roll.
Oh, okay.
So she doesn't even have to prepare it. She just has to be prepared to use her reaction.
Yes.
Fair enough. So it gives him disadvantage on his dex save.
Only if he passes his dex save.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So Nemo's not necessarily 100% guaranteed to,
True.
mess up hers. Because if he already has disadvantage, this is kind of a double disadvantage.
Yeah.
I just really want to make help.
We just really want to see this go down.
Okay. All right. You guys are prepped. Any other prepared actions, reactions, other modifications to this plan?
After Cole's cast his mage hand, he's stepping back because he's not as vindictive as these folk.
This feels like harmless, vindictive fun.
Yeah, but Cole still wants to talk with Ron later and doesn't want to pay him in order to get back in his good graces.
We're just hazing the poor man after everything we went through.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Fair.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, he started it, so.
Touche.
Okay. In that case, sorry, I'm doing something on my end, attempting to at least.
He's rolling anger rolls for Ron already.
Oh. Huh, that's not what I'd expected for that, but okay, cool. Okay, yeah. So who's breaking the alarm? Who's pulling the trigger?
May as well be me, I suppose.
As soon as Cole crosses the threshold, Aogier is casting Grease.
Okay. Alrighty. Fair enough. You so you yep, so you go and you break the thread that sets off the ping in Ron's head. And you immediately hear a flurry of motion coming from inside the room. Like, he is jumping, springing up out of bed, moving quickly. The door flies open. And as soon as that happens, silvery barbs will go into effect.
Oh, he.
Oh,
She
right,
has to
right,
Only
see
if
right.
him
he
succeed.
succeeded.
Reaction
Yeah.
when he succeeds. And he steps out onto that grease and starts going whoop. So dex save.
It's pretty low dex save. I'm not that high of a level.
Okay, what is your spell save DC?
I sent it. It's 14.
14.
Okay. Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. Oops.
All right.
Oh.
Silvery barbs goes off.
Okay, so Ron starts like slip sliding like it's ice on the sidewalk, and he starts looking like he's gonna recover. Like he starts getting his weight under him. He doesn't seem like he's fully perceiving what's going on. His eyes are still pretty foggy, but like the fluster in his face is very visible. And you do notice he has a dagger in his hand.
Oh no.
It's okay. I still have one spell slot to
Damn it.
heal him if he falls on the dagger.
So Nemo, as your silvery barbs manifest and go and like wrap around his ankles, or like poke into his feet, no damage caused, but like lodge in there and try and like pull his ankles out from under him, he sets firm and like really just commits to his footing. And he is there. He is solid. I cannot hear you.
Okay, there we go. We had like a connection blip for a minute there while you
Oh,
were giving
no.
that whole
Okay, so
explanation.
I heard it all.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I heard
Yeah.
nothing.
I heard nothing also. Um, but even like as so his feet are sliding around and he seems like he's got his balance. Nemo, your silvery barbs go out and latch to his feet to try and pull them, and he really just commits his weight and locks into place. And he's looking down at his feet, seeing that, there's magic attempting to affect him, and he doesn't seem like he's fully perceived what's happening, or like fully comprehended the situation, let alone
So
who caused it. Did you have something at this point, Cole?
yeah, because our plan hasn't gone to full fruition yet. Cole still has a mage hand, so we can take that bag and dump its contents on his head.
You're getting covered in shit one way or another, buddy.
Exactly. He doesn't get out of it that easy. He's staring at his feet right now. He ain't looking up. And if he does,
Okay.
he's gonna do the cartoon run where he doesn't move, but his legs are all whoop 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 whoop, and he's gonna fall and get covered in shit.
Excellent. Um, so as you're uh, as you're doing that, you lift that bag up and dump it, and the manure just all over his head and shoulders. And he makes the mistake of looking up, like, what is this? And then
No.
just, ah! Uh, yeah, Ron's, it's a wonder he still has vision sometimes.
Maybe I should have given him the glasses.
Uh, at which point, uh, Ron is going to respond. And he is going to stride across the room, still wiping literal shit out of his eyes. And Cole, he's coming right at you. And he is,
I am outside.
uh, somebody was inside to, well, I
No,
thought your alarm spell reached outside?
it can reach a mile outside of its range.
Really? Oh,
I'm
fuck.
pretty sure that's what it says. Yeah, because I double checked to make sure he wouldn't have to be in the alarm spell.
Okay, but like to target and include him on it, just within a mile?
If you are within 1 mile of the warded
Good
area.
God. Okay. Uh,
Really fuck him up. Oh, sorry, Rod. I forgot to take you off the CC on this email.
fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Well then, I would.
I mean, we're all outside, but at
I
least
assume
Nemo
you're
has to be able to
laughing.
see inside.
Yeah, Nemo's
Oh,
at
yeah.
the window.
Yeah, Yejier is very poorly, like, around the side of the window,
And
trying and failing to not laugh about this situation.
I assume, Cole, you're probably somewhere at the window so you could see in and dump the bag.
Yep. So we're all visible at the window. It sounds like.
Excellent. Uh,
Oh, wait.
Ron yeets that dagger at the window as he's wiping shit from his eyes. It didn't hit anybody. It thuds into the wall
Okay.
around the window.
I was
You were
gonna
so
say
ready.
I'm prepped.
And when that happens, he hears it thud, and then he like stops and wipes his eyes, and he smiles as you guys are laughing. You learned from working with him in the Everdark, Ron has a really good sense of hearing. So at this point is probably when he can hear you guys laughing and also maybe shrieking in fear as a weapon has gotten involved. And he just stops and he goes, "Oh, I suppose I deserve this, huh? Oh, that was good. That was good. Nobody's ever got me back this good. Usually they just put it on my doorstep and light it on fire."
Looks at Nemo, does the Leonardo point at Nemo?
Oh.
Figured better get a special for the early bird.
Yeah, you got me. That was good. Good morning. Fuck you. Thanks for the job.
Do I have to... Is he within 10 feet of us?
Not quite. He will move to approach the front door, which means he is essentially starting a new turn walking across the grease. It's okay. He saves. He catches himself.
He has such good dex.
Yeah.
It's true. You guys benefited from his dexterity many times.
That's very
Yeah,
true.
it-
He's
it's
also
worth
like... I don't actually want to know what level Ron is considered or what CR he is. I don't think we could take Ron in a fight, is really what I'm saying here.
No.
But once he's close enough, Yevardsaga will at least presto his face.
And he'll open the door. Well, that was good. That was pretty good. I applaud you for it, but my fuck you stands.
That's fair.
Now go away. I'm not done sleeping. I am horrendously hungover.
Yevardsaga is leaving the grease there, hoping he forgets about it when he walks back to his room. It only lasts a minute, but I'm assuming he's going straight back to his room if we leave.
Pretty much, yeah.
We'll catch you at lunch. Nothing special for that.
Okay.
Yeah, Yevardsaga will clean up as much of Ron as she can in the couple of actions of time she has with him within 10 feet.
He saves again. It's fine.
Ugh.
Can you not? Can you clean that up? I'm all for a good joke, but this is where I live, man. I don't want to scrub this shit out the floor.
Literally. Well, do you want us to leave or do you want us to clean?
I know you can clean with a snap of your fingers. Don't bullshit me.
Yevardsaga will. She's gonna leave the grease there as long as it'll stay, but she'll clean the poop.
Fair enough.
It probably takes like, I don't know, not even a minute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wouldn't be a ton.
'Cause I can clean 1 cubic foot per 6 seconds.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it would be done in like 3 castings of it. You poured manure into grease, that stuff isn't traveling very far. But yeah, Ron will go back in, slam his door closed, and then it opens. And he comes back out and just fucking walks through the grease this time. God damn it! As he walks out, grabs his dagger out of the wall and goes back, which that is enough movement for him to do in 1 turn. So he does not have to make the check on his way back in. Slams the door closed again, and you hear him plop into his bed.
He laid down. It's like something's not right under my pillow. Son of a bitch.
Yup.
I would like you to know it is any time they enter. They don't get a standing save.
Oh, I thought it was just once per turn.
Nope, each creature standing in the area must succeed the saving throw or fall prone. A creature that enters the area or ends its turn there must also succeed the saving throw.
Still good.
Doesn't matter.
I figured he would be, but like every single time, I'm like, maybe this time, maybe this time.
Is
He has
that
to roll
6 saves
7 or
that man
lower.
has made?
Yep.
Wow.
I mean, his modifier alone is half of a Yejie's save DC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a very high level.
Um, but yeah, now you have you got your revenge on Ron. Uh, now you have the day. What next?
I'll close his window back up.
That's mighty kind of you.
Such good
Oh.
security.
We're
Yeah.
assholes, but we're at least we're polite.
So we could go get our breakfast that's on the house, and then
That we paid for.
yeah.
Yep.
And then after that, Cole's gonna take his bath, and then we could talk about dividing up the items.
I'm for it.
Okay. And talking about dividing up your items is something we can
Do
we
Do,
can
outside.
do
yeah,
off stream
text.
in text form. But yeah. Otherwise, are you guys just kind of hanging out until Cole has his meeting with Ron?
Yeah, might go see what the goblins are up to and poke around with my various mosses and mushrooms.
Okay. You do have time to look at those. Yeah. Nemo, were you gonna want to sit in on that meeting or hang out with the Yejie? Go cause trouble somewhere else?
I was curious about that herbalist they were talking about.
Yeah, she is always down to see an herbalist.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did kind of forget. Pez mentioned it to me earlier this evening, and I already forgot that they do have an herbalist somewheres. Let me find it in my notes. It's somewhere in there. Okay, I might have to hold off on the herbalist until next time because I'm not finding it conveniently in my notes.
Okay.
I have notes about Darbiton in like 4 different OneNote folders. So I won't waste your guys' time towards the end of session digging around. But yeah, while you guys are doing that, Cole, Ron shows up vaguely around lunchtime. And he'll just walk up and sit with you. So, what did you want to talk about? Unless this is, of course, some other form of pouring horseshit on my head. He looks up
No,
above him, like exaggeratedly concerned at the rafters.
nah, I don't need Normu to have to clean that up. That'd just be a rude guest.
Yeah, I do it to him all
Uh,
the time. He'll clean anything you pay him
no,
enough.
nah, I was just curious on how tied you are here. Um, Essentially, you've been uh, very helpful and a good man to have in a pinch. If we need you or have desire for you on other tasks away from this area, is that something you'd be open to, or you pretty well tied here?
Well, I mean, I'm building a house here. I moved halfway across the world to come here. So I like to think I'm fairly committed, but if you're wanting transport somewhere nearby, I might be willing to hire out an overland trip, but I wouldn't be joining your party. But I'd see you to wherever you want to go next, whether that's Aerith or somewhere else. I'd see you get there safely if that's what you want.
He's breaking up with us.
Yeah, he is. Gotcha. Now that's good to know. I'll have to talk with the others. So I don't know how safe a trek it is to Arif and back.
If you stick to
But
the roads, it's usually okay. Last I knew, most of the excitement's on the other side of the fringe. But
gotcha.
if you're off-roading, which is the more direct route, who knows what you're going to find in the wilderness? Beasts, bandits, wildfires, who knows?
Lions, tigers, bears.
Oh, my.
But
Gotcha. Well, we'll confer on that, but it's good to know we got a solid guy if we're ever in the area and need something.
yeah, I'd take you. I could take you to Arif if you want, even if you take the longer way, which is sticking on the road. I'd take you to Arif. I'd take you to Oppering, which is on the road. Just instead of going west to Arif, just cross the bridge instead. I could probably take you to Indleshire if for some reason you wanted to go there. I will not go to Garrett. That's just too far. But anywhere kind of in that range, I could take you probably to maybe Castle Deadfall would be my western limit, which conveniently you guys are on the world map.
Yeah,
Yeah.
How about that?
so convenient.
Mhm.
It's like I had a plan to discuss your, at least start the discussion of what you want to do next. But of course, I don't expect you to commit to any of that now. I know y'all work by consensus. So have a talk with them. You know where I'll be.
Much appreciated.
I suppose you might not know everywhere I'll be. If I'm not here and I'm not at home, I'm probably in the history office. They'll usually want to hunt me down and talk to me after I make a trip into the ruins, so I reckon I should probably just get it over with. I might make them chase me down. We'll see. We'll see how quickly my head clears up.
Um, Cole's gonna think for a minute on that. Do you think they're gonna have interest in that temple we were
Oh, I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will, but I don't know if they'll see a need to talk to anybody but me about it. And I was there for everything you guys saw. But if if I know you're going to stay in town, well, even if I don't, they'll if they want to talk to any of you, they'll send somebody snooping through and see if you're still about.
at? I'm just trying to think if there's anything we either warn them about or exclude from that conversation.
I've always been honest with them. I think that's the best way to make sure everything up here stays safe. I mean,
Yeah,
they just want to understand what's down there. I mean, hell, there's
yeah,
only
that's
five
fair.
of them in that building anyway. Uh, if you're lucky, you might get to talk to Aleda. She's the uh, she's the easiest one to interview with. She's the one in charge anyway. But if you have to deal with any of the others, good luck. They're not all quite as fun.
Um, I'm just trying to think.
Dangerous game that.
I know. So if you were to say forget about the room with the portals in it. What might take your mind off that?
Oh. Well, that I do not know. Make a persuasion check, Cole.
Oh,
Doing a lot of that.
Well, it's because you're trying to be charming in some form or another.
No, I'm a dashing young rogue. Um, is this worth an inspiration for?
since we won't be able to do the whole herbalist thing, could we say that Ayoshi and Nemo are with him during this conversation?
I'm okay with that unless Cole wanted privacy.
No, that's fine.
Okay. Uh, I will assist with that role.
Oh,
Okay. How so?
What are your eyelashes at Ron?
Yeah, just butter him up. Uh, I don't know what, but I can't think of how she would assist, like to convince him to not talk about that, but or maybe she like I don't know, hold his hand. I don't know.
I'm waiting to roll until you can have a justification for it because I don't.
Well, it's just like Nemo also would appreciate it if everyone could just forget about that room.
Okay, so you echo that sentiment.
Yes.
Fair enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
advantage
Yeah.
given.
Yeah.
All right. Wow. I rolled a 2 and a 3.
You would have been better off buying him a few drinks first.
Well, something like that is really. I can't in good conscience just ignore that. You know? Who knows what those could be, what they could lead to? Particularly what they could lead here underneath our feet. I don't expect anybody to necessarily go poking around. In fact, I will actively advise against it. But I'll make you a deal. If if they don't ask questions that steer in that direction, I'll see if I can't get rid of it.
I'd be appreciative of it. My concern would be if Shoko or the library learn of it. We discovered that after they were gone. So,
Now that's a
right
good
now,
point. Well, shit, I
the
hadn't thought of it
library.
that way.
Yeah, I want to keep that information out of their hands.
I'll tell you what. I'll not mention it this time, but I don't care where, I don't care how. I prefer a soonish version of when, but you owe me a case of Indleshire Red. That is an expensive wine in this region. Like Indleshire Red, people describe as being just as good, if not better, than Forellian wine, which Forellian, is just another way of saying it's the best in the world, whether or not it's actually from Forelia. But folks around here tend to say Indleshire Red is better than Forellian wines.
I owe Ron a case of Angel.
Which, just your characters would know this, just as a point of clarification. That does not mean you have to go to Indleshire to find it. It does
Mm.
get traded in the major cities throughout the fringe.
Yep.
So, like, it might take a little more hunting to find a whole case of it somewhere in Arif, but like Arif's a big enough place, there's enough money there. Like, it should, in theory, be possible to find something in Arif.
Would Nemo know how much that cost?
Yes, she would. You absolutely
Does
would. Hold on.
Does
One
Ulf know how
moment.
much that costs?
Not off the top of my head, but I do want to give an answer to that because I know how to find it. It'll just take me a moment.
Yep.
So bear with me. Feel free to continue other RP while I find this information.
Well,
Mhm.
I'd just be haggling with him. So I need your brain for that.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like now Nemo's getting into the like the nitty gritty of this agreement. Like, does this mean like we just get you this and you never speak of it, or
That's
like,
what
just not speak of it until you get it, and then we have to make a new bargain with you?
that's what Cole needs to clarify is for this you won't mention it if they don't ask, or you're gonna mum's the word as a result of this. Because I brought up a valid concern.
A Nemo. A case of Indleshire wine, of Indleshire Red specifically, can vary a bit naturally, but I would say a standard price to look for, if not consider it like reasonable, but hopefully a little on the low end, would be 150 gold for a case, which is a dozen bottles.
Oof.
Yeah.
But I am I will hold my tongue in good faith for the time being. But you get me that case and I will drink until I forget it for good. You will never have to worry about it. I don't make deals that way. If I say I forget it, trust me, I fucking forget it.
Cole nod, put out his hand. Deal.
Deal. Shakes hand. Now,
Ooh.
if you'll excuse me, I have a hangover to continue sleeping off. Because
Thanks for your
god
time.
damn, it's a good one. And it was worth it. Oh, a yes, EA. I think I saw your goblin friends. Sorry, I didn't mean that to sound bad. Did that sound bad? The goblins that you made friends with that we brought up. Uh, I saw them out on like the north edge of town a little bit. I'm not sure what they were doing. I think they were kind of putting together a camp, but I just seen it on my way in here this morning. In case you wanted to know.
Appreciated. I'll go talk to them before we leave.
Sounds good. Heads out the
Enjoy
door.
your hangover.
I won't. Well, after that, you guys have no pending meetings or anything except for long term in about a week, making sure you're an Arif. So you've got time to kill. I have homework to do to find my notes on the herbalist's place here in town. But I am content to leave it there with some loose, open flexibility to continue downtime next week.
That
Yeah.
should work. I'm just
Excellent.
thinking, maybe when I meet up with Miss Wargstrider, if her date goes well, maybe we could pick up a case or two of Indershire Red to maybe
Maybe.
have a bottle or two and
Maybe.
save
That's
me a
not a
few
bad
bucks.
thought.
um, but yeah, I'm getting quite the shopping list. I gotta get this wine. I gotta get some frickin' pastries, and then I got um, whatever the hell I favor I sold my soul for. Um,
I'm sure it's fine.
it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for playing tonight, guys. We'll pick up next week with you guys getting to explore the herbalist place and mill about town as much as you like. I would imagine, unless you really get into shenanigans, that at least by the end of next session, again, this is not, you guys have to hold to this timetable. If you want to hang out in Darbiton, hang out as long as you want. But I would imagine without any particular reason to, by the end of next session, we'll probably at least be figuring out what comes next, if not having taken the first steps. So I'm excited. I look forward to it.
Thanks, Ulf.
Have a good night,
Thank you.
friends. Thanks for playing.
Good night, Ulf. Bye bye.
Good night.
Thanks,
Bye.
all. Bye.
Okay. We gotta love playing pranks on NPCs. I always find it fun. Or when the NPCs get to play pranks back. Also very fun. I don't know if this campaign will ever run into him, but there's a particular NPC who is one of my favorites that I've ever come up with. And, like, pranks are what he does. I can't say that I'm the most creative about what he gets up to, but it gets fun when I get in his headspace right and come up with some good ideas. He's a good time. We'll see if they ever meet him. This campaign may never cross his path. He's elsewhere in the world. But I guess that'll be something we find out another time. But next week we will return to Downtime in Darbiton, and should be at our normal time, Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central. And until then, feel free to go back and watch the VODs if there's anything you missed. Feel free to check our math if you would like, since we did some calculating assorted things. If you're the kind of monster who enjoys crunching numbers, I am not. But you do you. I'm not here to yuck your yum or whatever the phrase is. But everybody take care. We'll see you next week. Stay tuned. There will be more to follow.